What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be starting a new Devlog series from a new game called Swift. So I've been working on this game for a while now, and I thought it would be a good idea to document my journey in making this game with the Devlog series. And so I'm making this game using Python, and I'm using a Python module called Pygame. And so since I already started this game, I thought I would dedicate the episode 1 to recap what I have so far. And then moving forward, anything new I add, I'll create a Devlog episode 4. And so starting off, this is my main Python file, and it's over 900 lines, which is pretty shocking. And I also have my sprites file here, which is over 1,000 lines already. But anyways, let's run it. And so as you can see, let me uncomment this and run it again. Okay, so as you can see here, when you run the game, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see the title screen with the name of the game, Swift, along with 3 buttons you can press. You can press start, control, and exit. If you press exit, like what it says, it'll close the game. If you press controls, it'll take you to another screen, as you can see here, where you can see the text here for the controls, as well as the animation for what's associated with it. So for example, like the character, right? You can see a picture of the character, so you know what it looks like. Same thing with this laser, right? And it's also telling you what to do. So in this case, hover over the laser to break it, right? And you can see here, if you press back, it'll take you back. Another thing you can see here is if you hover over it, right, you can see it looks like you're pressing it down, and if you left click it, it'll take it back to the main screen, right? And so this will give it more of like a natural kind of, more, what's the word for it? More natural. It's just a more natural, more fluid effect here. And so if you press start, it'll take you to a cutscene. And so initially, I guess while this cutscene is moving, I'll talk about, originally I wanted this game to be like a half platformer, half kind of like this, you'll see in a second here, half platformer, half this ball looking thing, right? Where you can't touch the spikes, but then ultimately I ended up scrapping that player part because I couldn't get the transition to work with this little portal, and so I decided to just make it all of this ball kind of thing. And this is pretty unique, I think, right? And so initially the player is at this idle state, and then if you keep moving, and if you press if you press WASD, like any key, it'll start moving in that direction, and you can't stop once you move in that direction, right? So I'm going to press D and then S, so D goes forward, S down here, and you can see here, if you touch the laser, then you die, and if you touch the spikes, you also die, right? And so to get rid of the lasers, right, like the instruction said, you hover over it to break it. And then, there you go, and there you go. And then what marks the end of the first level is that blue portal you saw earlier, right? And that's pretty much all I have for now, right? And as you can see here, I'm experimenting with the new obstacle, right? Rather than just lasers, right? I coded this kind of obstacle where if you touch the little thing here, then you die, right? And so you have the mouse over here, but if you hover over it, like whenever you're colliding with this, it'll stop moving, right? So take for example, you're like here, right? You have to time it perfectly to where you hover over it and it'll stop the block from touching the player, right? And also I implemented something where it's like I sort of predicted that the player, like, or let me show you. So initially when I was like testing this, right, something that I kind of caught was that maybe if the player idles, so if they go like left and right, you know, in one spot, right, then they could just hover over all the lasers, and then it'll make it easier for them to go through it instead of like, having to hover over the lasers simultaneously while monitoring the player. They can just, you know, go left and right in one area, like what my mouse is doing right now, and then they'll just in the meantime break all the lasers, right? And so I implemented this thing where if you like don't move a certain amount of blocks, or like if you change directions, you know, within a certain amount of time, then you will die, right? So you can see here, it's just, well, actually I think it's better if I show you here, right? So you can see if I go left and I go right really fast, right, then it'll reset everything, right? Let's do it one more time. Go left and you go right, right? And so you can't like go like this, right? Like see, it'll just reset, right? And so that's all I have for now, right? And this is the tutorial level, and then the next level is going to be level 1, right? Right here, right? Or this is going to be level 1, right? And I'm going to probably, like another idea I have is implementing like a sign, right? Somewhere over here where there's a lot of empty space, I can implement like a sign that says like tutorial, or like what level, or like even over here, right? This is a pretty big area to do it as well. And so that is all I have. And also here is, I guess I'll show you this while I'm at it. Let's go to here. Where, and you can see this is all my Python files, but you can see here is all of the assets I have so far. All right, let's make it medium so you guys can, oops, like extra large, probably large is fine. All right, but you can see here, here's all of the sprites. I guess I can show you close up, maybe, or not, actually. Oh, it's gonna be super blurry, which sucks. But anyways, these are all the sprites that I have so far. Right, and also I have boost sprite. I guess I'll show you that as well. Okay, let's see. I added it to my tile app really quickly. Sorry. Where is it? L and M. So if we go to level 1, I'm sorry. Give me a second here. And this is what I'm doing right now is called a tile map, right? This is pretty much like a, where you lay out all of the stuff for your game. So for example, this tutorial level, right? You can see this tutorial level. I laid out all of the tiles in like this sort of tile map where like each number or letter corresponds to a specific sprite. Right, so for example, like my floor sprite, right, it's gonna be like 1, and so wherever I want to spawn a floor, it's gonna be 1, right? And so, that being said, sorry, let's run this, and then you'll see I also implemented another thing. This is not an obstacle. This is really like a more of like a challenge thing, but it's, hold on, if I can get past this first level, right? There we go. And so I implemented this. It's going to be like a sort of like a fast, slow thing, right? So like whenever you're maneuvering, right, and you collide with this arrow here, then it'll increase the player's speed, right? So it basically requires them to think faster, right? You can see like that, right? And it only reactivates when you touch it again, right? So you can see here, if you collide with this, it'll make the player's speed increase, and then if you collide with this, which is the reverse, it'll slow the player back down to normal speed. Right, and that was my other obstacle I was planning on adding. Right, I still have a couple of other obstacles that I'm planning on adding, but I'm kind of uncertain on how to implement them. Right, but for so far, it's just the spikes on the walls, right? This obstacle, the laser, and then this boosting, if you consider this an obstacle. Actually, originally I was gonna have this like where the player increases speed as like a more of like a power up type thing, but then I realized I can take advantage of it and make it more like an obstacle, so they have to react faster. And that was my idea behind that, right? And so that is all. That is all I have of my game so far. All right, and if you want to check out my other game I made, just do know I made the game like 2 years ago, so obviously it's not the best, right? But it's still, if you want to check it out, you know, you can support me. I'll have a link down below to my itch.io account. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next episode.